I was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis when I was 14. It's an inflammatory bowel disease with no cure. When I was told this, I had no idea what it was. My doctor had a lot of explaining to do.
Crohn's disease is an inflammatory condition, usually of the intestine. It can affect you anywhere from the mouth to the anus. Usually it involves the whole thickness of the bowel wall where that area is affected. The colon is part of the intestine, it's the large bowel. And anything with itis in medicine means inflammation of that thing. So colitis is inflammation of the colon.
This is not something I wanted to hear going into high school, and the symptoms didn't help my situation any. I ended up in the hospital at least once a semester, and at one point missed a month of school. I had every symptom in the book.
So most people with Crohn's or ulcerative colitis can have diarrhea. That's the most common symptom. Usually people with Crohn's disease have more in the way of pain and less in the way of bleeding. People with ulcerative colitis will have more bleeding and less pain, but there's an overlap, so you can see people with Crohn's have bleeding and also with no pain, and people with ulcerative colitis have pain and bleeding, so it can get a little confusing to the patients.
I spent the next 4 years of my life as a guinea pig, trying all different sorts of medications, from ones to reduce inflammation to steroids to build up muscle tissue in my intestines. Nothing seemed to work for me, until I tried the newest medication on the market, Remicade. It's an infusion I get once every 6 weeks. I may not know exactly what's in it, but it does the trick.
These are molecules that block the signals between white blood cells.
I started getting the infusions almost 3 years ago. It's made a drastic improvement in my life. I actually have one now. Going on Remicade was probably the biggest risk I have taken in my life. One of the side effects could possibly be cancer, but it's a risk I'm glad I took. The only downside I've seen so far? The $3,200 it costs each time. Thank goodness for parents with benefits. Katelyn Hajnik, Qnet News, Oshawa.
Have you been away? Have you not?
Not yet.